Nationally, homicide is the third leading cause of death for African-American men, especially in the younger population. But in Peoria, it's first. It's Tuesday evening. I'm Tidora Lopez.
And I'm Amber Kriska. The coroner is calling it a local health crisis. Madison Porter joins us live in the studio with more.
Amber and Tyler, there have been more than 20 homicides this year in the city of Peoria. 13 of those people were between the ages of 15 and 34, including 15-year-old Jabarius Highsmith, who died over the weekend, and 20-year-old James Irby, who died last night.
We're on a trend right now. We're obviously superseding national benchmarks when it comes to homicide data, particularly in our 15 to 34-year-old age group of men.
The facts that the Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood said is supported by the CDC and the Peoria Health Department. Following homicide is suicide and drug overdose.
3 types of deaths, tragic, particularly for this age group, that are preventable.
He's calling it a crisis.
This is a national health crisis. This is a local health crisis.
He's afraid that with the excessive violence and high homicide numbers, we're losing our next generation.
The talent and the brilliance and the minds of these kids who are going into a different direction other than where their gifts and talents could lead them, we're losing a generation of brilliant people.
He says a majority of homicide victims are from the East Bluff and the south end of Peoria, where access to housing, jobs, food, and transportation are all limited.
But all of these things which seem minimal to people really play a role in the health of a community.
There are resources like the East Bluff Community Center that try its best to provide people with necessary items.
The unfortunate thing down here is that we don't have a local grocery store, and a lot of folks that live in the East Bluff don't have transportation. They don't have ways to get places. So that's why we provide the pantry here, and it's so vital to the East Bluff.
But one isn't enough. Harwood says we can't forget about how much of an impact those things have on the life or death of someone in our community.
The accessibility issues of that all play a role in where we're sitting at today with these homicide rates, and particularly in this age group that we're talking about, 15 to 34. It's clearly a public health crisis that needs immediate attention.
Harwood says when looking at homicide, suicide, and drug overdose data over the last several years, a majority of the victims are African-American men. He says the entire Peoria community needs to show they care and do something to see a change in these numbers.